She's very strong, and she goes left, and she finishes every time. So if you play behind her, which many of our opponents have done, that's what we watched on our scouts, she just turns and bullies her way to the basket and lays it in. And she's been very successful. She's had a 30-point game already this year. We're not big, and especially without Destiny we're not big. And Destiny's been out for 30 days. She hasn't practiced a single time in 30 days. She practiced yesterday for the first time. We felt like we needed a bigger body to go in and play against her. So we used Destiny, and certainly she's not back in form. I mean, she played 8 minutes and fouled 5 times. I mean, you got to get back into the flow of things, and the pace of the game was fast, and she hasn't been up and down the floor very much, so that was difficult for her. But getting back to what I was saying, their goal was to get the ball inside, and our goal was to double team that, front it and back it, and not allow her to catch it. We didn't want her to catch it, and she got looks, and they were very patient moving it around, and they scored 50 points, and we gave them some free throws at the end. So really, we're talking about mid-40s in half-court defense, and I'm happy with that. But you got to be able to score at the other end of the floor.
Right.
And they had the luxury of just trying to pound it inside because we weren't able to score offensively, so they didn't have to do anything else. They could just keep plugging away with the same thing because they were scoring enough to stay ahead of us. We didn't force them to have to look for anything else. Offensively, we had a hard time scoring. We couldn't hit any outside shots. I mean, you got Honestly King, who goes 0 for 8, and Takima 1 for 5, and Janelle 2 for 7, Corey 2 for 6. So we couldn't hit any outside shots, and that was a problem, and it was a problem the other night as well. So we were just trying to find guards that could, we were subbing on the perimeter trying to find guards that could help us offensively, but we also were trying to get bigger guards so that when we were switching on the ball screens, we didn't get hurt in the post so much. So it was I think that our game plan was to keep the ball out of the paint, and that defensively we probably did enough to win the game if we'd had any kind of offense, offensive flow. When they talked about wanting to run up and down the floor, we decided to press because it spread everybody out. And for them, their leading scorer, she didn't like to run up and down the floor very fast. So we do. And if she's guarding Shay, or she's even guarding Destiny, we can outrun her. So we wanted to spread the court, and that's why we pressed, so that we could get it. If they took a quick shot and we grabbed the rebound and outletted it, it could be 3-on-2, or we could run our post down the middle of the floor before she got back and try to get the ball inside, or we were trying to liven up our offense a bit, and we were trying to stretch it out, which is why we pressed. And they were taking quick shots until their coach got into them a little bit, and then they stopped and they started to bring the ball back out and run it all the way down until there was 1 second on the shot clock, and they hit a couple of shots with 1 second left, which really put the nail in the coffin for us. But that's what I think the girls were talking about when we pressed them, and we wanted to run on them, and they didn't give us any opportunity for a running game. It was a very slow-paced game.
What about